For episode 21, remember Mumm-rana from season 1, episode 63? Well, guess what? She's back. So the story begins with Luna and Amok of the Lunatics. Well, long story short, they just heard a giggling that's coming from nearby, and they're the Thunderkins. So what Luna and Amok did is that they went to investigate. So that's what they did. Anyway, there are the Thunder Kittens and along with Snarf and Pulmyra. So what Snarf did is that he was asked by the Thunderkins to tell them the story about the magic belt and Queen Luna. Wily Kid, who's Wily Cat's sister, said that it's her favorite story, but Pulmyra, according to her, has never heard that kind of story before, but she's about to hear it from Snarf himself. So that's exactly what Snarf did. He told the story of the magic belt. But before Snarf can begin his story, that's when overhearing it was Luna and Amok of the Lunatics, and you could tell she's not exactly happy about it. But wait, there's more. She also pleads her case that Queen Luna once upon a time was her grandmother. Back with Snarf, he started telling a story about the magic belt to Pomara and the Thunderkins. He said, once upon a time, during the ancient days of Third Earth, there was a queen named Luna. Now remember, as Luna, the leader of the Lunatics, said that she was once her grandmother once upon a time. So anyway, flashback, Snarf explains even further that Queen Luna is in fact so ruthless that around her waist was a magic belt. In fact, a belt that is so powerful it could maintain control. Then, long story short, as Snarf explains further how Queen Luna once upon a time had misused the magic belt's powers. And what she did once upon a time is that she's been raiding villages and making slaves out of everyone on Third Earth, the Wolos, the Balkans, and everybody else. Long story short, as Snarf continues the story, then just when things were looking hopeless for Third Earth, but who should appear to make the slaves free from tyranny and control other than Mumm-rana herself? So she shows up out of nowhere to challenge Queen Luna to a fight. So that's exactly what they both did, both Queen Luna and Mumm-rana themselves. So, powerfully speaking, both Queen Luna and, of course, Mumm-rana were battling with each other, and it just went on and on and on and on and on. That was until, at last, long story short, Mumm-rana defeated Queen Luna. So what Mumm-rana did next is that she decided to punish Queen Luna, but before she did that, she took the magic belt away. Mumm-rana, that is. And when she did that, Queen Luna was shrunk down to size. So after Queen Luna was being punished for her crimes thanks to Mumm-rana, unfortunately for Queen Luna, she was never seen or heard from again. Then meanwhile, according to what Snarf says, Mumm-rana had kept the magic belt up to this very day in the White Pyramid's tomb chamber where she sleeps in her sarcophagus on the floor. And as legend has it, according to Snarf said also, that as long as Mumm-rana has the belt, that the Earth will be free from slavery and tyranny. And back in the present, according to Snarf, what he said also, and that is why to this day, Mumm-rana is the guardian of the magic belt. But he, the Thunderkins and Pulmyra were still are not aware that both Luna and the Amok of the Lunatics were overhearing this. On top of that, Luna is now all upset because of what had happened to her grandmother and why she's being punished for her crimes. So now Luna has revenge. And why, you may ask? Well, according to Luna, she just pleaded her case that now that she knows where the magic belt is, and that it should have been hers from the start. So what Luna and Amok are doing now is they're heading off to the White Pyramid. But before they can head off, that's when they spotted a thunder tank that's showing up. So they hid behind the bushes. Luna and Amok, that is. So in the thunder tank were Panthro and Lionel. So what Lionel wanted to know if anyone would go with him, but the Thunder Kittens declined and said that they promised to help out Linkcell at the tower. Even though Snarf had pleaded his case to say that going to Frog Rock Mountain was not exactly an idea that he had in mind, but he did suggest to Lionel to have him be dropped off at Caslera on the way, so Lionel agrees. How about you, Palmyra? Panther asked. Well, Palmyra had decided to stay behind because she said she needed a target practice. So Lionel, Panther, and Snarf agreed and they head off in the thunder tank while Palmyra stays behind. Back with Palmyra, just before she went to target practice, she sensed that something was off. So she went to the bushes to get a closer look. And before you know it, she spotted Luna and Amok heading off. So, deciding to investigate, she decided to follow them. But before heading off, that's when Palmyra suspected that Luna must have overheard Snor's story about the magic belt, so she's heading towards the White Pyramid where Mumm-rana lives. Palmyra knew that there was no time to lose, so she heads off. Back with Luna, the leader of the Lunatics, and of course Amok, who she was riding on top of, they decided to stop. And when Amok was hiding, that's when they saw Palmyra in pursuit. So what Amok did is that he's letting Luna know that Palmyra is following them. Palmyra's pursuing us, Luna asked. I got an idea. Why don't we lose her in a desert of lava geysers? She suggested, and so both of them head off. Meanwhile, at the desert of the lava geysers, Luna and Amok of the Lunatics were the first to arrive. They soon realized that they're not the only ones that arrived there. Palmyra of the Thundercats, remember her? She was second to arrive, and she's still pursuing the Lunatics, Luna and Amok. Back with Luna and Amok, they soon realized that there's a bigger problem. Lava geysers are exploding everywhere, so they had to hurry, but they're not the only ones because Palmyra, who was still in pursuit, speaking of which, she has to hurry too. Back with Luna and Amok, they managed to make it through the first row of the desert without a problem, but then Luna speaks in her case to say that there's no way that Palmyra's catching up with them. She'll be stuck there. Or at least that's the case. But unfortunately for Palmyra, good news for her, she manages to avoid the lava geysers. Back with Luna and Amok, they had finally arrived at the White Pyramid. So, by the time they arrived, that's when Luna told Otmok that there's a plan involved. But first of all, she told Otmok that she's going to claim what was rightfully hers. And what was that plan? To make sure that Mumm-rana will never stand in her way. Back with Pumara, she's still stuck at the desert of the lava geysers at the moment. But she'll catch up to the lunatics eventually. Meanwhile, at the White Pyramid's tomb chamber, there's Mumm-rana. She's sleeping in her sarcophagus on the floor until an earthquake wakes her up. So she outside the pyramid we have Luna and Amok of the Lunatics. And what Amok is doing is that I'm guessing he's breaking one of the pyramid spheres. I cannot say for sure, but that's what he's doing. Back with Mumm-rana, who had just awoken from her sleep in her sarcophagus on the floor at the White Pyramid's tomb chamber, now she has to wonder who was it that woke her up. Back outside the White Pyramid, Almach is still trying to break one of the pyramid spheres, and he almost did it too. Back inside the White Pyramid's tomb chamber, and with Mumm-rana, she attempted to transform into her ever good self, but now there's a problem. She collapsed. And the reason why she's collapsing is because back outside the White Pyramid, Almach finally did it. He broke one of the pyramid spheres, so that's why Mumm-rana's not transforming like she normally does. If that's not bad enough, her pyramid outside is falling apart, so there's only one thing for Mumm-rana to do, go back to her sarcophagus on the floor. Back with Luna and Amok, they're now inside the White Pyramid, in the White Pyramid's tomb chamber, of course. So, meanwhile, luckily for Mumm-rana, good news, she makes it to her sarcophagus. So, what Luna did next is that she went closer and closer thanks to Amok, and she snatched the magic belt away from Mumm-rana, saying that her time has come and etc. So, what she did next is that she told Amok to put her down on the ground, and he did. Back with Luna, now that she's down on the floor, thanks to Amok of the Lunatics, what happened next is that she puts on the magic belt, and when she did, what happened was unbelievable. She grew taller, just like her grandmother did. She has the same shell necklace, just like her grandmother did, but instead, she now is known as Princess Luna rather than Queen Luna, just like her grandmother. Back with Pumara, now that she finally arrived at the White Pyramid, but she saw it was all a mess because both Luna and Amok were already there. She says, "Oh no, I didn't make it in time." If things weren't bad enough, she also found out that Luna of the Lunatics has gotten the magic belt already too. The reason why Pumara suspected that Luna had the belt already is because when she arrived at Mumm-rana's sarcophagus where Mumm-rana is sleeping, she notices that the belt was missing. So she looked behind her to hear a voice coming from out of nowhere saying, "Don't worry, the belt's in good hands, and especially mine." And when Pumara turned around, it's Luna, only it's Princess Luna now. Palmyra, on the other hand, was about to go one-on-one with Princess Luna, but before she do anything about it, remember that stuff that Queen Luna used to have all these years ago? Well, now Princess Luna has it, and she's trapping Palmyra. Now, things are looking bad for her. If that's not bad enough, Palmyra collapsed. And then things got even more worse soon after. That Luna, now Princess Luna, is going to pick up where her grandmother had left off all these years ago, enslaved Third Earth. The one that, according to Snarf's story, that she never got the chance to because she was punished for her crimes. So, guess what Princess Luna did next? So even though we didn't see it, but it is confirmed that Amok is sealing Palmyra in the walls of the White Pyramid's tomb chamber. So that's exactly what he did. Now, watching it happen was Princess Luna, and she seems impressed, and then told Amok, "Now you did really well. Maybe this will be your new job from now on," she suggested. So when Princess Luna told Amok that he should be a bricklayer at the Thundrillium mine, that's when Amok said, "But I go wherever you go," he said. Then Princess Luna just lets up to Ogma to say, "Well, that's true, but I don't need you anymore," she said. As a matter of fact, Princess Luna says, "I don't really need anyone." So, what she told Ogma before heading off was finish it up, then report at the mine. So after that, she heads off. Was heading off, she says that she has plans of her own to enslave everyone on the earth, destroy the Thundercats, and overthrow her friends, the Lunatics, and Mumm-rana himself. Now, Amok is now upset because he should have realized right then it was all part of Luna's plan. Now, Princess Luna's to be exact. Later at Castle Plondar, in the meeting room we have Slide, the mutant's leader, and Munkian playing cards. So Munkian just told someone who was knocking at the door to go away. So Slide and Munkian continue to play cards. But then remember Princess Luna? Now remember she left the White Pyramid moments ago. She blasted the door open. When the mutants saw it, they were in shock. And that's when Princess Luna tells them to stand up when she approached them. And what she did next is that she tore the table in half. So Monkey went first to ask the question, "Is that you, Luna?" Well, not only did Luna, now Princess Luna, not only said that she is, but according to Princess Luna, she told Monkey in this case, "For now on, it's Princess Luna to you," she said. "I have a job for the two of you. Now, what it was, I cannot say for sure. But it is confirmed that she and the mutants are planning to set a trap for the Thundercats. So that's exactly what the mutants did. Princess Luna, on the other hand, had confirmed a hunch that at any moment the Thundercats would be coming from their direction. I guess they must have heard that Palmyra was missing. But anyway, Slide had dropped the rock by accident, and that made Princess Luna upset. Well, luckily for Monkey and he saved Slide, the mutant's leader, then Princess Luna made her case to threaten them. Back at the White Pyramid, Palmyra finally woke up, so you remember her. She's still stuck in the walls of the White Pyramid's tomb chamber because of Amok. And speaking of which, back with him, he's now all upset because Luna just abandoned him. So he's now fitting into a rage. So Amok has complained in his case to say how unfair it is that Luna should never have left him and he's been faithful to him and etc. So what Amok did is that he was punching the wall that he sealed Palmyra in. As for Amok, he at least punched a hole in the wall so that Palmyra can escape after he had headed off. And speaking of Palmyra back with her, that's what she did. She manages to break out of the sealed wall that Amok had just punched earlier. So now that she manages to escape, now all she has to do is wake up Mumm-rana. By the time the Palmyra arrived at the sarcophagus where Mumm-rana is sleeping at, she says, "Wake up! Wake up! There's in serious trouble." But Mumm-rana says that she couldn't do a thing about it because most of the pyramid's powers are gone. That's because, thanks to Amok, who ripped off one of the pyramid spheres, that's why Mumm-rana is now in a very weakened state. Mumm-rana told Palmyra that there's a bigger problem since the magic belt's been stolen earlier. And of course, unless the pyramid and its power are restored, she just cannot do a thing about it. So, in other words, she can't transform or, however, restore all her powers unless there is a solution. So, there's only one thing left to do, and that would be Lionel's sword that will restore the entire pyramid and its power. However, before heading off, she tells Momorana, since you won't do anything about it, then I'll have to handle Princess Luna myself. So she left the White Pyramid. Meanwhile, Lionel and Panther are in the Thunder Tank, and they're now on their way there. Unfortunately for Lionel and Panther, they had no idea that the mutants had already set a trap for them. But they're not alone. Let's not forget Princess Luna. She's there too. So Slides is letting her know that the rock slide's all set. Well, don't make any mistakes, Princess Luna said. Then Princess Luna also makes the threat clear to the mutants that if they do make a mistake, they'll end up working on the rock pile. So they head off. But before they can get on with their mission, that's when Sly says, "Oh no, no mistakes. You can count on us," he said. It was Princess Luna when she heard the sound of a thunder tank that's coming from nearby. That's when she told the mutants to get ready for an attack. And so that's exactly what they did. Long story short, the thunder tank is still on its way up. When back with Princess Luna, she just told the mutants to wait for her signal. So they did. The thunder tank that has Lionel and Panther, they still had no idea that the mutants had set a trap for them until they saw rocks falling from up above. Luckily for Lionel, who was driving the thunder tank, it stopped just in the nick of time to see the rocks that was blocking the road. Now that right side rock slide is done, thanks to Slide, so that's when the Thunder Tank went to the other direction, that's when Princess Luna had signaled Monkey in to do the left side of the rock slide, so he did. So now, the Thunder Tank has no place else to go. Now that Panther and Lionel were out of the tank, what they saw was unbelievable. Luna, the leader of the Lunatics, now Princess Luna, And they know this because they had seen the magic belt that she had took from Mumm-rana earlier. After Panthro had confirmed his suspicion, that's when Princess Luna, who overheard it, she says, "You got that part right," and went face to face with both Lionel and Panthro. Not only that, but Princess Luna then pleads her case to say she's going to finish what her grandmother started all these years ago. Not as long as we're around, Lionel said, so he went first to attack. Unfortunately for Lionel, his sword's not doing a thing, and then Princess Luna pleads her case to say that his sword's no match for her. So anyway, after Princess Luna had pleaded her case, so it's now her turn to attack. And how, you may ask? She uses her staff power to disarm Lionel. Things are looking bad. Back with Lionel, after he was disarmed, he tries to call his sword to come back to his hand, but instead it gets attacked from behind. So then it's Panthro's turn to take on Princess Luna. So he did. Before he did that, that's when Pedro told Lionel to hang on and he'll handle it. Here come the mutants, Slide and Monkey, and they joined up with Princess Luna. Monkey and the other mutants just told Princess Luna to have Pedro get what's coming to him. "Don't worry," Princess Luna said. "I will." Then Princess Luna looks at Slide, the leader of the mutants, and said, "In the meantime, go get that sword." And so Slide heads off, and as for Princess Luna, she goes one-on-one with Panthro. So Panthro went first to attack, and then Luna repels it, and then the battle just went on and on and on and on and on. Back with the mutants, Slythe and Monkey tries to grab Lionel's sword, but he couldn't quite reach it. Remember Palmyra? She shows up minutes later. Now remember, she left the White Pyramid's tomb chamber moments ago, and so she stopped Monkey from grabbing at the same time. Palmyra's attack just causes Slide to fall off. So good news, she reaches to the sword on time, and then she throws it at Lionel. Long story short, Panther continues to dodge the attacks of Princess Luna. As for Lionel, the moment the sword was tossed up to him, thanks to Palmyra, he did what any good guy would do. He projected the Thundercat signal from his sword, so he did. So back at the White Pyramid, the moment that Mumm-rana had found out that thanks to the Thundercat signal, her pyramid and its power are restored, that gives Mumm-rana a chance to transform, so she did. In the meantime, back with Panther and Lionel, and then later Palmyra, who shows up to join up the fight against Princess Luna. Princess Luna, speaking of her, she was about to attack all three of them. Guess who shows up to rescue them? It's Mumm-rana, and she's fully recharged. Princess Luna just couldn't believe it. So, magically speaking, what Mumm-rana did first was to attack Princess Luna, so she did. Because of Mumm-rana's attack, it causes Luna to fall on a branch of a tree by the belt that catches her, but she won't be having the belt on for long because guess what happened? When the belt came off, Princess Luna fell down to the ground, and when that happened, she went back to her regular small-sized self again. She's now known as Luna, the leader of the Lunatics. Remember Amok? He just left the White Pyramid's tomb chamber moments ago. He saw what's going on. So what he did is that he jumped on the tree, he picks up the belt that Luna had just lost on the limb of the tree, and he looked at it. With Luna, she looks up at Amok and said, "Amok, is that you? Throw me the belt and hurry." But he refused at first. So she said in anger, "Amok, you throw me the belt this minute." And so he did. "Now that's more like it," Luna said, and then she pleaded her case with Amok to say, "Wait till I come up here to knock some sense into you. You could have just thrown it to me," she said. By surprise, guess what Alma did? He puts up a rock. So panicked, Luna looked at him and said, "What are you doing?" So what Alma did is that he threw the rock at the belt, although the belt is still intact. So because of Alma throwing the rock at the belt, it causes the belt to fall into the canyon where it's lost forever. So Luna got upset and said, "Oh no!" Then she started screaming at Amok and said, "You see what you did?" And then she pleaded her case to say she should have started what her grandmother began with that belt and etc. And because of him, he destroyed it, or so she thought, and etc. And she cried. But to make her feel better, that's when Amok tells Luna that he'd rather be friends with her again. "Really? You mean that?" Luna said. So Amok not only nods in agreement, then he and Luna looked at the good guys, Mumm-rana, Lino, Palmyra, and Panthro. So after Amok puts Luna on his back again, that's when Luna tells Amok, "Well, what are you waiting for? Let's get out of here." But he refused to move. The reason why he refused is because he wanted Luna to apologize to him for the way she treated him and the way she abandoned him. So she says, "Oh, all right. I'm sorry." So Amok forgives her. So after that, both of the lunatics left. So unfortunately for Luna, now the leader of the lunatics again, her plan almost worked to rule third Earth, but now it backfired because the belt is lost forever. And too bad for Mumm-rana, she could have gotten it back too, but now that's gone. Meanwhile, back at the Castler's control room, I guess it's confirmed that Lionel just told the Thunderkins what had happened. I can't say for sure, but Wily Cat's now all upset because he and Wily Kit, regrettably, if only they could have gone with Lionel instead of helping out with Linkso, they could have gotten that belt back. But now it's gone forever. Long story short, after Panthro had agreed with the Thunderkins' case that yes, it's true, they could have helped out, but he says that he's not so sure about that. Because he said in a surprise twist that Amok in the end knew exactly what he was going to do in the first place, he said. Now Bengali, who agrees with Panthro, he said, well, at least we don't have to worry about Luna getting her hands on it again. Linkso, who agrees with both Bengali and Panthro, he says, well, then again, neither will Amok, because it will never fit on him anyway. Long story short, Snarf's now all upset and depressed. He says, I'm not so sure about this because he sensed that something was off. Now with the magic belt gone forever, he then said that the story itself is never going to be the same. Makes Snarf feel better, that's when Panther says, cheer up. Think of it this way. That story you just told to the Thunderkins, that was the first part. Now, this is only part two of the story, Panthro suggested. By golly, you're right, Snarf says. I should go to the library to write this down right away. And the reason why he's doing it is because he wanted to make sure that everyone on Thur will never forget all of this. And so he heads off. Then Palmyra said, wait a minute, because it's her turn to plead her case, because she has heard the assassin story as the Thunderkins did. She said that according to Snarf's story, that as long as Mumm-rana has the belt, sadly not anymore, thanks to Amok of the Lunatics who threw the rock at it that caused it to fall, lost forever in the canyon, that Third Earth would be free from slavery and tyranny, she said. Well, that's true, Lionel said, that made a surprise confession to Palmyra. He said that that story that Snarf told earlier takes place before the Thundercats came to Third Earth, he said. Panthro has his turn to not only agree with Lionel, he says, well, as long as we're here, and you can rest assured of this, we'll just make sure that Third Earth stays that way. So meanwhile, at the White Pyramid's tomb chamber, now Mumm-rana, who was sleeping in her sarcophagus, who heard Panthro's case, well, let's just say she happens to agree with the Thundercats that as long as Third Earth stays free of slavery and tyranny, nothing, not even evil, could prevent it from happening. And so that ends episode 21.